Welcome to this important step in the journey towards sustainable and meaningful employment. It is important to remember that this is truly a journey. Unlike any journey, it is a process that is not a straight line. Journeys involve navigating the landscape and sometimes difficult terrain to finally reach your destination.
Instead of the traditional approach of focusing solely on employability as a separate aspect of human functioning, the Strength-Based Sustainable Employment Project is a complement to the extension of the work MEC staff already undertake to understand and support each client and their unique strengths, barriers, needs, abilities, and resources. The following Strength-Based Employment Matrix model highlights the areas identified in research as important to identify, build on and address in supporting overall resiliency, well-being, and more specifically, sustainable employment. What makes this initiative unique is that it's not just another program. It's actually a change in how we do things. It's a partnership grounded in the experience of community, enhanced by the proven research of strength-based principles and models of practice. As a result, this project has the potential to become a model of best practice in many different communities in regards to creating sustainable employment with a national and even an international scope.
Each of us has a story, and our stories are sacred. The sharing of personal stories with others is a necessary act of courage on the journey toward greater success and well-being.
The key to this model is hearing the story of the clients in such a way that we understand the social capacity they bring, so that when you add knowledge and exploration of job, that you can bring the two together and resource for success.
The Resiliency Questionnaire presents a unique way of sharing and understanding the story, highlighting the strengths that each of us has to apply to creating a positive new future. As the Resiliency Questionnaire is a self-report, it allows the respondent to share their perception of their situation. This is important because an understanding of how we perceive ourselves, the labels, hopes, and expectations we place on ourselves, has to be the starting place for growth in any positive change process. By understanding strengths and challenges, we are able to approach this journey from a very realistic starting point. The Resiliency Questionnaire is a reliable and enjoyable way to help us accomplish this. Understanding strengths, capacities, barriers, and challenges is an important next step in achieving success. This is accomplished in part by completing the Resiliency Questionnaire.
The Resiliency Questionnaire consists of 3 separate sections. The first, a sociodemographic section to identify community, gender, age, grade, language, and things like that. Number 2 are the resiliency questions. 48 items are used to measure the resiliency factors. The last are additional items that measure risk, pro-social, and other outcome indicators.
Once complete, the coach or program staff will review the scoring profile with the respondent. This profile draws on the responses to the questions in the questionnaire to summarize the unique makeup of internal and external strengths and challenges. The strengths provide the fuel required to reach important milestones and overcome barriers and challenges that may be encountered along the way.
Having printed off a profile following the instructions in the step-by-step administration guide for staff, it is important to review this information together. This profile shows the client's scores based on how they perceive themselves, their relationships, and other areas of their life on the day they took the survey. Higher scores indicate greater perceived strength in any area, but the respondent has the right to challenge any score and provide more information during a discussion about the results. On the profile, the headings on the left side of the page represent the 24 developmental strength categories, as well as the pro-social, at-risk, and outcome indicators. The 8 resiliency factors appear on the right side of the profile and represent the average score of its related developmental strengths categories. The scores appear in the far left of the profile and are also represented by the color-coded horizontal bar graphs. Scores of 0 to 25 are red, which indicates significant challenge. Scores of 26 to 50 are yellow, which indicate moderate challenge. Scores of 51 to 75 are blue, which represents moderate strength, and scores of 76 to 100 are green, which represents significant strength. For risk factors, lower scores indicate that the area is less of a challenge, whereas higher scores indicate a greater degree of challenge. With a copy of the profile in hand, identify the brass constellation and record those on the profile itself or on a separate piece of paper. The brass constellation are the barriers, resources, abilities, skills, and strengths that appear on the profile. Make sure to also identify which existing strengths can be used to overcome barriers and build on other resources, abilities, skills, and strengths. Using this information in the notes taken, complete the client needs assessment and individual planning form with the client. For example, You could add the identified resources, abilities, skills, and strengths on page 2 of the Client Needs Assessment and Individual Planning Form. Also, add the challenges on page 2 where appropriate. Add what supports and resources could be drawn on or built. For instance, natural employment mentor support and employment-related resources, which can be added on page 6. As part of any journey, it is important to assess and reflect on how far one has come. For this reason, it is important to reassess your progress by taking and reviewing the Resiliency Questionnaire again in 3 months or so. Until then, enjoy and make the most of your journey.